Welcome to Cosmic Scene with Jill Jardine. I'm your host, Jill Jardine, Master's in Counseling Psychology, longtime astrologer, psychic healer, and yogi. In this episode, I'm going to share the astrology update for April 2022. Stay tuned to the end of the episode when I give my sun sign predictions for each sign. And this is a very special second anniversary episode. That's right, folks. 2 years ago, in the middle of COVID lockdowns on March 30th, 2020, we launched Cosmic Scene with Jill Jardine. 113 episodes later, and many, many devoted listeners, we're still rocking the airwaves. Welcome to the episode on the astrology of April 2022. Stay tuned till the end of the episode when I give my sun sign forecast for each zodiac sign. I will share the key dates and astrological activities during the month of April, and then go back and give more details. Wow, can you believe that 2022 is already a quarter away through? Time is flying, and so are the accelerations, which get amped up in April. April blows in with all planets transiting direct, gearing up for eclipse season and Mercury retrograde in May. Planets are stirring up some Tom Foolery at the April Fool's new moon on April 1st. Enjoy the wild ride this month as we brace for eclipse season arriving at month's end on April 30th with a new moon solar eclipse in Taurus. This is a very busy lunar month with a new moon starting the month, the new moon in Aries on April 1st. And in the middle of the new moon sandwich is the full moon of April 16th, full moon with the moon in Libra and sun in Aries. And on the other side of that lunar sandwich is that new moon lunar eclipse on April 30th. I think this April feels more like coming in like the lamb and goes out roaring like an eclipse lion. Here are the key dates for April. We start the month, April 1st, with an Aries new moon. April 4th, Venus transits into Pisces. Also on April 4th, Saturn and Mars conjunct in Aquarius. April 10th, Mercury transits into the sign Taurus until April 29th. April 14th, Mars goes into Pisces, calming down that warrior planet who has been stoking the fires of war since early March. April 16th, it's that Easter full moon with the sun in Aries and moon in Libra, ready for Easter on the 17th of April. April 19th, the sun transits into Taurus early this year. April 29th, busy Astro day as Pluto goes retrograde until October 8th, and Mercury transits into home sign Gemini. And then on April 30th, we have a new moon solar eclipse with the sun and moon in Taurus. Let me give you the scoop now on all these busy astrological aspects. April will feel like two different months as there are two new moons this month. As I said, the new moon in Aries kicks off the month on April 1st, and the new moon in Taurus ends the month with a bang on the 30th. Things move fast and furiously to make up for lost time in the beginning of April, with all planets traveling direct. Make hay while the sun shines before the eclipse season kicks in at month's end. The planetary war energies of Mars and Venus transiting together through erratic Aquarius ends, and they chill out in pleasant Pisces. Then we thud down to Earth by mid-month as Mercury makes the shift from impulsive and antsy Aries into the earthy sign of Taurus, joining Uranus, and then the sun joins that Taurian terrain in late March. Be ready for big surprises and the next agenda is being toted out by the global elite when Pluto slides into retrograde on April 29th for several months until October 8th, 2022. Pluto begins his retrograde tour right before the solar eclipse of April 30th, precursing more economic woes and threats of new variants and vaccines. However, with Mars and Venus in Pisces and Pluto reversing direction, The planetary war situation clears up, and we will see a resolution of sorts with Ukraine. New fear agendas will be trotted out post-eclipse, so get ready and access 5D to escape the third-dimensional control matrix. Go check out my previous podcast on fifth-dimensional consciousness so you can make your escape from the density of 3D to the lighter and brighter realms of the fifth dimension. Make merry at the Aries new moon on April Fool's Day, which arrives at 2:24 a.m. East Coast time. Light and airy, says the new moon April Fool's fairy. Aries new moon stokes a stellium, a clustering of planets, in the sign of the Ram, including Chiron, the wounded healer teacher archetype, Mercury, Moon, and Sun in fiery Aries. Get ready to blast off. It's time to launch. It's a great time for new beginnings in any area of your life, whether it be professionally or personally. Very good for new health regimes and diets, as the Aries energy will give you a boost and a pep to your step. Fire and air everywhere. Mars, Venus, and Saturn in Aquarius in early April inspires and feeds the fires of Aries new moon. It's go time. Take action, exercise, dance, move, shake, become a mover and shaker, do something new and different. Become adventurous and enterprising. The new moon in Aries is a good time to commit to personal goals. Take an innovative approach to your life. This new moon occurs at 11 degrees Aries. According to Dane Rudar, who translated the Sabian symbol system of archetypal descriptions of the 360 degrees of the zodiac, Aries 11 is symbolized by the ruler of a nation. The keynote is the power resulting from the formal integration of the collective desire for order. It indicates a centralization of power at the level of a rigidly structured consciousness. Very significant Sabian symbol for this new moon, especially when the Sabian symbol for the last lunar cycle was for the full moon in Pisces on March 18th, and that was, quote, a bald man seizes power. Certainly these past two Sabian symbols for the most recent full and new moon speak to the Ukraine-Russia situation and the leaders of those countries. It can also be indicative of the President of the United States and his role in this war, as well as attempts to centralize power by any world leader. We've been seeing that as a theme with vaccine mandates and other attempts to control populations as the global elite desperately grasp onto the fading vestiges of an old world order that won't survive the upcoming Plutonian shockwaves and awakening Aquarian age consciousness. Chiron is an asteroid in astrology that symbolizes the wounded healer teacher archetype. Chiron in our chart shows us where we were wounded earlier in life, but also holds the key to our healing and transformation so we can grow beyond our wounds and become whole, evolve, and perhaps become a teacher to others who carry a similar wound. This goes for collective wounding as well as countries suffering from situations that create wounding. At this new moon, Chiron is tightly conjunct the Sun and Moon in Aries, and it is close to Mercury. So this suggests we must focus on healing deep wounds, whether it's through analysis, Mercury, the Moon, emotional process, or through the Sun, accessing our light or our soul. Venus transits into placid Pisces on April 4th, where she will luxuriate until May 2nd. Venus joins Jupiter and Neptune at the Piscean party for pleasant parlaying. Tune in and tune out. Neptune is the higher vibration of Venus, which combines personal love with transpersonal love. Things are about to get groovy. Piscean dreams and mystic crystal revelations are enhanced by Venusian visions of peace, love, and understanding. Timing of Venus visiting loving and pleasing Pisces helps to offset a Mars-Saturn conjunction in Aquarius the same day on April 4th. I warned about this aspect in my podcast, which was a 2022 overview episode in January. I had predicted it would amp up any warlike situations and even forecasted back in January the Ukraine-Russia war. I also predicted cyber attacks on the U.S. by Russia during early April, and I still see that as a strong possibility. On April 4th, Saturn and Mars conjunct in Aquarius, which could create some difficulties. This could be a time when aggression, Mars, is acted out against authority, Saturn. There could also be an uprising somewhere or revolution against authorities in power. It's also a time when we can see an uptick in violence. It can come on fast and furiously and come to a resolution quickly as well. Mercury transits into Taurus on April 10th through April 29th, which will turn the focus onto the economy. Everyone will have money on their minds and feel the pressure of high gas and oil prices and rising inflation. Why is everything so expensive now? The war excuse only goes so far. The transit of Mercury in Taurus affects the cryptocurrency markets by popping any percolating potentials. Those bubbles that may come fast and furiously at the end of March into early April pop just as fast. On April 12th, Jupiter conjuncts Neptune in Pisces, planting pleasing mystical vibrations and seeking spiritual awakenings. Try to get high naturally under this escapist surreal vibe. Many may leave their bodies at this time, and self-medicating is at a high, literally and figuratively. Full moon in April arrives on April 16th with the sun in Aries and moon in Libra. An Easter full moon that will shed light and expose hidden matters. It brings relationship issues to a head, but it's also a very good time for romance and bringing romantic potential to the next level. Aries represents the self or first house in astrology, and Libra is the other or seventh house. Aries is about self-assertion and speaking up for oneself, while Libra is about diplomacy and compromise. Many relationships that were on the brink of dissolution may call it quits around this full moon. Revelations will pop up about relationships, whether marital, other partnerships, friendships, or romances. Decisive action may be taken to solidify or end relationships. This full moon degree is Sun at 26 degrees Aries and Moon at 26 degrees Libra. The Sabian symbol for 26 degrees Libra is an eagle and a large white dove change into each other. The keynote is the interaction of spiritual will and of the love principle when critical needs arise. The keynote is adeptness, being adept to discern what is needed. Intuitively, I interpret the Sabian symbol as related to the United States, which is symbolized by an eagle, and it is our national bird, turning into a dove the symbol of peace. So perhaps this points to the United States stepping into a role of peacekeeper and not aggressor, specifically in the Ukraine-Russia war, or any other international skirmishes which show up in coming months. Synchronistically, this full moon occurs at Easter, a time of renewal and rebirth, the return of the Christ consciousness, often symbolized by a dove descending from spirit. Jupiter and Neptune, the traditional and modern rulers of Pisces, are having a love fest in this spiritual sign on Easter. The spiritually soothing Easter vibes, amplified by the plenum of planets, Mars, Venus, Jupiter, and Neptune, partying in Pisces, perpetuates peace, love, and understanding at this lunar and spiritual festival. The tranquility, hope, and higher frequencies prevail until month's end, when the literal SH ... hits the fan. When Pluto turns retrograde, Mercury moves maniacally into Gemini, and the eclipse window opens wide. Pluto turns retrograde in Capricorn on April 29th, the day before the solar eclipse in Taurus. As mercurial mania kicks into Gemini, it will not be business as usual, and something big is in the offing. The shift of direction tends to bring about some initial confusion and financial fears. I have warned the cryptocurrency community that this signifies a difficult time financially and will be affecting the traditional markets as well as the crypto markets in a negative way. Pluto travels retrograde until October 8th, 2022. Dun dun dun! The solar eclipse, new moon in Taurus, tops off the cherry of a manic month on April 30th. Luckily, it's only a partial eclipse, so the darkness is mitigated. However, there are shadowy elements lurking. Some say Taurus is a stingy sign, obsessed by money, having it or not having enough of it, counting their pennies, and lacking the generosity such as zodiac polarity partner Scorpio, who can give freely. Taurian generosity usually comes with a WIFM, what's in it for me? And often there is a scarcity consciousness attached as opposed to a prosperity consciousness that is usually found in most air and fire signs. Perhaps many feel their wealth has been eclipsed at this new moon with the rising costs of everything and drops in the stock market and cryptocurrency. The good news at this eclipse is that the two benefic planets, Venus and Jupiter, are conjunct together in the exact degree of Pisces. This heralds the coming of a new age when our needs will be met if we connect to the higher frequencies of prosperity or lift our consciousness out of third dimensional lack into fifth dimensional abundance. Venus is the depositor of the moon, which gives hope if we look for our security internally instead of externally. First ye seek the kingdom of God, and all else follows. This solar eclipse new moon occurs at 10 degrees Taurus, which is symbolized in the Sabian system as a Red Cross nurse. The keynote is the compassionate linking of all humanity. So this actually speaks to the conjunction of Jupiter and Venus in compassionate Pisces. Compassion in action and an attitude of gratitude will see us through these economically challenging times. And remember that we are all connected. Therefore, if I prosper, so do you. Connect with your transpersonal heart and seek unity consciousness within and outside of yourself at this new moon solar eclipse. And now the part of the episode you've all been waiting for. Sun sign forecast for each zodiac sign for April 2022. Let's start with the first sign of the zodiac, who are the birthday kids, Aries. It's go time for Aries in early April with the new moon on April Fools, kicking off your month of fun and frolic. The Aries new moon on April 1st gives you the impetus and push you need to get things moving. All circuits are connected and rewiring and firing up. Saturn sextiling your sun keeps you focused to plant the seeds of intention in your life to cultivate in the coming months. You have 4 lucky days, Aries, April 1st, 2nd, 28th, and 29th. Taurus. Piscean planets lovingly lift Taurus up throughout the month until the eclipse anvil crashes down at the month's end. Enjoy the bennies while you can. Luxuriate in the Pisces planetary plenitude of Venus, Mars, Jupiter, and Neptune harmoniously aligning with your sun and offering up opportunities. Uranus keeps switching the dials and bringing in changes which bring you closer to your goals. Your lucky days, Taurus, are the 3rd, 4th, and 30th of April. Gemini. Gemini is abuzz in early April with Aries and Aquarius planets swirling around you, revealing glimpses of possible futures for you. You may even feel dizzy with the influx of energy, so it is essential to ground, especially in mid-April when planets shifting into Taurus force a reality check. If you overextended in the past month, you will come down to earth with a thud and assess your progress. You entered the karmic return of the past birth year, and it's out with the old and in with the new in preparation for your solar return at your impending birthday. Your lucky days, Gemini, April 5th and 6th. Cancer. Cancer is soothed and secure, embraced by the Pisces planetary party, throwing you loving gazes and hugs. You feel nurtured and nourished. This sense of security is amplified as the Sun and Mercury step into Taurus, sharing creature comforts. You feel like you can unwind and let those creative juices flow freely. Your lucky days, Cancer, are April 7th, 8th, and 9th. Leo. Leo is revved up and ready to go in early April thanks to Aries' friendly fire. You whisk through your life and tasks in a whirlwind of energy and get so much accomplished. By mid-month, you're tuckered out and need a vacation. Uranus, Sun, and Mercury in Taurus upset the apple cart and throw you a whammy. Saturn opposing your natal Sun has you saying, I just got to get through to the other side. This too will pass. Your lucky days, Leo, are April 10th and 11th. Virgo. Virgo is getting slammed from Piscean planets opposing your Sun. Everyone is making demands on you. Don't make rash decisions or act impulsively. Refrain from making big decisions or changing course. When planets shift into Taurus in mid-April, you get your groove back and are supported in all endeavors. Simplify and success follows. Your lucky days are April 12th, 13th, and 14th. Libra. Aries planets posing polarities keep the Libra scale seeking balance and seesawing up and down. Be careful of overwhelm. You may be feeling like you have so much to do and so little time. Get out of your head and take action. Slow and steady wins the race. Take it one day at a time. Your lucky days, Libra, are April 15th and 16th. Scorpio. Scorpio feels like they are walking through mud, trying to get things done as the deadline of the eclipse window looms at month's end and through May. Make hay, Scorpio. When Pluto retrogrades on April 29th, you feel reborn and watch the ecliptic energy fall out from the Taurus new moon solar eclipse on April 30th. Seasoned Plutonian of the zodiac sits back and watches the fireworks at month's end. Your lucky days, Scorpio, are April 17th and 18th. Sagittarius. Aries planets feed Sagittarius's frisky fires, and you feel a newfound sense of freedom and optimism at the Aries new moon on April 1st. Your Sagittarian lightheartedness and joking nature come home to roost. Practice patience under a plethora of Piscean planets and the Taurus triple header from mid-April on. Your lucky days, Sag, are April 19th and 20th. Capricorn. Piscean planets pass on pleasing pulsations to Capricorn. Ride those waves. Planets transiting through Taurus improve your finances. Be inspired to find new ways to make MOA money. Pluto retrograde and solar eclipse at month's end reveals subconscious blocks to achieving your highest potentials. Your lucky days, Capricorn, April 21st and 22nd. Aquarius. The 2-month planetary war of Mars and Venus in Aquarius is finally ended, and your financial flow increases. Pisces planets cultivate collective illusions and delusions. Everyone needs some Aquarian clarity and wisdom to set them free. Find those new venues and resources to expand your kingdom. Pour out those water-bearer visionary gifts of a brighter future. Illuminate the consciousness of all your connections. Your lucky days, Aquarius, are April 5th, 6th, and 7th. And Pisces. It's a good time to be a Pisces with a planetary plenum of Venus, Mars, Jupiter, and Neptune planting pleasing Piscean pulsations. Escape the mundane reality. Relax and let go and let God. Everyone else is walking around dazed and confused, and you are in your element. Take some much-needed rest as your nocturnal dreams and daydreams are soothing and revealing. Your lucky days, Pisces, are April 25th, 26th, and 27th. I hope you enjoyed our second anniversary episode of the April 2022 Astro Update and Sun Sign Forecast. Show us your love going into the future by subscribing, downloading, and sharing this and all our episodes, and give us a 5-star review. This is Cosmic Scene with Jill Jardine, sending healing astro vibrations pulsating through the planetary plenum and the quantum field.